Welcome back to the Kick and Post YouTube channel and podcast. I am your host, Amal Thompson, SaylessK. How are you doing today, sir?
Sensational.
Sensational.
Amazing. How are you doing?
Fantastic, man. The NFL season has come to a conclusion. Shouts out to the Seattle Seahawks. We haven't got back on here since they made light work of the Patriots. Score doesn't even show how much of a dominant performance this was by the Seahawks. But with the ending of the NFL season, the beginning of Dynasty off season, aka Dynasty real season, gets into full effect. And we are here to give you our Dynasty buys as of February 24th. Some of the guys we're looking to purchase from teams who might not see the same things in those players that we see. This will be the running backs and quarterback video. And without further ado, let's hop into quarterbacks, man. And let me start off with one of my favorites. He's going into his sophomore year. A guy who they said the nonchalant attitude would not benefit him in the league. A guy that was the number 1 overall pick, and I feel like it was the least talked about number 1 overall pick in terms of like how his season progressed. He had some moments.
It was.
Pulled the rabbit out the hat a couple times. Crazy plays, some of them called back. I think for what he had going on, he definitely did a good job of like mitigating turnovers. They didn't have a successful season. The arm strength was there. The accuracy was there. The ability to move an offense was there. And I am very, very excited to go to the owners of Cam Ward in Dynasty Leagues and offer them picks for that player. They acquired Brian Dable to be their offensive coordinator. I am still a believer in Brian Dable as an offensive play caller. I think they're going to make some work in the draft, try to get some more weapons around him. I think some of these guys who are around him are going to take another step. Eli Maynor was a rookie last year. I feel like that second-year jump is coming for that kid. He looks good down the stretch as well. Obviously, I was a big Chimere DK guy out of UF. Did good things on special teams, had short moments on the field, but he could grow as an offensive weapon as well. Another buy low who might still be there or not be there. Went on a run the back half of the season. Started looking like the guy that he looked like in Dallas. And then, Chris has been a Chigakonkwo guy his whole life. And Chig looked okay in moments. Gunnar Helm looked okay in moments. So I think the pieces around him are starting to come together a little bit. And for the first overall pick in the NFL draft, that leash is going to be long. Right? So if you believe like he hasn't really shown improve yet, there will be years for him to show improve. They're not just going to cut ties that quickly. There's enough there. And as a Jags fan, I could tell you that our division is not the most concrete division in terms of dominance, right? We had a good year. Houston has a great defense with things they could work on offense. Tennessee is creeping up, if you ask me. And don't sleep on the Colts. Started the year hot.
Yeah.
Daniel Jones is going to come back. Things are moving when he was there. We'll see what his mobility is like. But I think big things are in store for Cam Ward. And I haven't tested the waters for what his price point is. But as somebody who has Cam Ward, it takes more than a back-end rookie first to get Cam Ward off my roster right now. I might need a player plus a first to shift him. I'm not saying like an amazing player, but just kind of a fill-in. Maybe a guy that I believe in that I could take a stab at and a first-round pick for that guy. I know some people are selling him for way less than that because they don't necessarily believe. What's been your experience with Cam Ward?
I've been a believer. I think I had to talk you into becoming a believer. You didn't believe at first, but
I had to wait. I had to see it.
I don't know. I saw him live a couple times. So I think that's what sold me. Is just watching him in person, the magic unfold in a pot that was very nasty at times. But you saw the spark. You saw his charisma. You saw where him being calm amidst the chaos actually works in his favor. But like you said, they're all young. Coaching wasn't the best. And the pieces that needed to be tweaked and improved looked like they have been for now. So I think the coaching change is going to be monumental for him, especially next year. In a sophomore campaign that's typically rough for rookie quarterbacks, I think he's going to have the opposite of CJ Stroud and actually take that next level up just because, like you mentioned, all the weapons around him that are also young, that are also improving, even with Chig, it's going to be very exciting because they have, low-key, they have weapons. Even, I know I made a lot of shade for this. Even Calvin Ridley's still there. Like, there's Gonna put that out there. But you get what I'm saying. So
I do.
yeah, so I like Cam Ward. I've always liked Cam Ward. I've understood he's a rookie. He played better, in my opinion, especially towards the back end of the year. First half, he just looked like a rookie. That's normal. But yeah, I mean, I don't know if it's a buy low, but definitely a buy. Definitely inquire, see
I would
what his
definitely
price
seek what the
is.
price point is. Yeah.
Yeah, just call your guy up and see how he's feeling about him because everyone has mixed feelings. So
Mhm.
I like to pick. Now I'm going to go into my pick, which a lot of people didn't like, but they might like now. But here's where the psychology comes into play. So I need y'all to get your
The
pen, your paper,
psychology. Okay.
and start taking notes. The name is Bryce Young,
Okay.
and that wasn't a good
Huh.
name earlier this year, but Amal
Mhm.
can attest. Even
Mhm.
I traded for Bryce Young earlier this year when I got called stupid. I got
Mhm.
called, he's dead, he's done, his career is over. But for some odd reason, go
Can I
go on,
can I cut you off? Can I cut you off?
go on.
You're not telling them what you traded for Bryce Young.
I won that deal. People,
You gave
I won the
away a
deal.
certain quarterback that
I'll tell
to
you
be
the deal.
determined. To
I'll
be
tell you the deal.
determined. Okay, go ahead.
In terms of dynasty football, it's not
Yes.
that big of a difference. Real life, 100%. But in dynasty, the trade was
Okay.
okay. Now I'm thinking about it, might be a little more even than
Okay.
expected.
Go ahead.
But I traded fingernail boy. What's his name? Caleb Williams.
Oh, now you don't know his name.
Caleb Williams.
Fingernail boy. Okay.
But
Yeah.
T Higgins.
Mhm.
And what ended up being the 1-1. Okay, it was supposed to be the 1-2. Some stuff happened. So Jeremiah Love. Now, granted,
Potentially.
I got Bryce Young, Ted McMillan, Rookie of the Year, and Malik Neighbors. What are we
That's true.
talking about right now?
That's true.
Like,
I like your side a lot. I like your side a
I
lot.
love my side. I
Yeah,
love my
it's the
side.
Caleb Williams Bryce Young side that like is gonna get some people in a tiffy, especially with how
Yeah.
Caleb Williams ended the year. But I think in terms of the stack that you get and Malik Neighbors when he's healthy in comparison to the other side, I can't be too mad at that. I like that deal.
Thank you. So even if I did lose that slightly, the edge of Neighbors in my lineup just puts me at the next level that I need to get to. But I digress. Back to Bryce Young. He has this trend where I like to call it the clutch gene. Even last year, amidst his sorrows, the last 6 games were electric. He always finishes the year strong. This year has that same trend. That trend carried into the playoffs and almost ended in a win. Now, if number 9 was an MVP, Bryce Young has a historic game. Like, let's just put that out there. He put up 30. He did his job. The defense ain't show up. Bryce Young did. That clutch gene was there. And that's why I'm a firm believer in buying him right now because I don't see him getting any lower. I believe he cemented himself as the franchise quarterback after this run this year. They're going to have to bring him back in. He's only getting better. The team is only getting better. And you can still capitalize. This is where psychology comes in. You can still capitalize on his woes from last year because it was pretty ugly at times. It was horrendous at times. Just remind them of that. Remind them of what it could be and that you let me take the risk. Let me get your boy off your hands. You don't need to worry about that. Let me worry about it. Because I promise you it's gonna work out. So that's all I gotta say.
I have Bryce Young on a roster. It's a roster where I drafted like 5 QBs, um, to just kind of corner the market. And I think what I'd sell him for is a decent enough price if he has to be a starter in your roster. Um, I think he's a viable starting superflex quarterback going into next year. I
Yes.
think there will be growth. I think him and Ted another year to kind of cement their connection. Ted has proven me wrong. I know we haven't made much player profile coverage videos or um you know covering prospects coming into the league, but I wasn't the highest on Ted coming into the league, and I think he had a very good year.
Great
Um,
year.
oh yeah, for sure, great year. I could say great year. Jalen Coker,
Love him.
that's my boy,
Love him.
and he balled out at the back end of the year. He's going to be back to full strength for the whole year. I'm assuming next year. There are running backs in the stable for them right now. There's one guy who hasn't even really got on a field like that yet. Out of Texas. Keeps getting injured. I think his name is Jonathan Brooks.
That's a whole 'nother video, bro, 'cause I don't even know how
He's
to feel
nasty
about
too if
him.
he's healthy. A
If
lot of
healthy.
ifs, but
Yeah.
if they, Rico seems to have a sour taste in his mouth from doing what he did and then going back to being in a secondary role, so he might be gone. It might be
So,
Chuba and Jonathan. Um, but that defense should improve a little bit. And that division is still not the strongest. You're looking at Tampa, whose defense isn't amazing, the Saints, whose defense is aging and slowly leaving for young, unproven pieces. And then Atlanta, they had a formidable pass rush, but one of their pass rushers decided to lose his mind, and now they're back down to kind of trying to figure that out in this draft, right? So Carolina might be one of my favorites for like a sneaky win the division bet next year, right? Like I think they're a better team than their odds are gonna be going into next year, and I'm excited to see how everything shakes out for that team. And I think Bryce Young is one of them ones. And I think in terms of
thank
a
you.
dynasty buy,
Thank you.
I think it's a good price. I think it's a good price in
Phenomenal
terms of
price.
like guys you are gonna be trying to target to be in your starting lineup as a quarterback. I think Bryce Young is still affordable, and that's why he's a part of the dynasty buys video, and I support it. A guy who I feel like comes with a lot more risk, though, that I'm still looking to add into the mix because of what I've seen in the past. His price point is lower now. Kyler Murray, man.
Ugh, I like it.
Kyler Murray.
I love it.
I will admit, when his price point was at his peak, when it was kind of up here, I wasn't a Kyler Murray buyer.
I was.
I didn't love his style of football. I didn't think it was sustainable. Yes, it's good for fantasy, but I didn't think it was sustainable at that level. Um, he showed out for what it was meant to be, fantasy points, but I couldn't get there with that price point. Now you're telling me still decent athlete, still strong arm. I could get him for potentially a back end first round rookie pick, maybe mid first round rookie pick in this draft. And depending on the situation, I think he's going to be out of Arizona. They haven't shown any commitment to him necessarily. But even if he's not, if he comes back to that situation, call me silly, but I think he still has it.
You're
I still,
not
I, I
silly.
still
You're
think there's
not
some
silly.
Kyler in there somewhere. And it all depends on price point for this buy, right? If somebody's trying to charge you former in the MVP running Kyler Murray prices, or 10 plus rushing touchdowns or whatever they expect him to have Kyler Murray prices, then I'm out, right? But if we look at the situation as a whole, hopefully an offensive scheme that helps him target that tight end a little bit more. We see what Trey McBride is. Michael Wilson found his groove in Marvin Harrison's injuries. There was a certain someone who loved Michael Wilson since his rookie year.
This guy.
Yeah, yeah,
I'll give you that one. You've been
yeah,
big.
right. And he looks good right now. And then Marvin Harrison Jr. I think he's still a player, and it's a tricky one because I feel like if one's there, the other might not be, right? But if they both end up there, and they could get on the same page. There are weapons out there in Arizona for him to hit. I think that defense is kind of mid. They're gonna have to score points to stay in games. And I don't know. He's shown me before. I can't just write off what I've seen in the past. So the price point has to be right. There's no way I'm buying at the peak. But if somebody's trying to just get off Collier and they're tired of dealing with it and they want to try out somebody new in this draft, they see Taylor Green at the Senior Bowl and they're like, you know what? I will take a back end first or an early second, and I'll take Taylor Green and I'll get off of Collar because Taylor Green's 6'6" and Collar is short. And maybe I could get something out of that. I could at least believe in his development. And I'll be done with the short guy who seems to be injured all the time and can't find his number one receiver. I'd take the gamble if I'm a competing team. What says you, Chris?
I like the gamble only if he leaves Arizona. And we
Okay.
were talking about this before we popped on, but he needs to change the scenery. There's some quarterbacks that once you get to a certain point with a franchise, with a team,
Mm-hmm.
you don't love the game like you used to. You don't feel the same way. And that's what I've seen with Kyler to where, yes, he's coming back from injury, but at
Exactly.
times it doesn't feel like he's going 100%, not because of getting injured again, because he's an athlete. He loves sports, he's passionate. But to get injured for the Cardinals, that's where
Hmm.
it's like, like, I'd rather not, because he knows he's on his way out. We know he's on his way out. Why would I do that for a franchise that isn't investing in me for the foreseeable future? So
Hmm.
if he moves, I'm all in on Kyler Murray, no matter where he goes. In my perfect world, so might shock a lot of people, but if he goes to the Jets, I'm all in. I'm all in. They got the
Okay.
weapons. They have plenty of weapons, and he
Hmm.
has the talent. So that's my dream landing spot. But if he's in Arizona, I just don't see a world where it's different from last year. Even with Trey McBride, he was the same guy last year. Even if Marvin Harrison steps up, I feel like Wilson played better than Marvin Harrison has ever played in the pros last year. It's like he had the weapons last year. What was the deal? They
I
needed.
have a better landing spot than New York.
You don't, though. Don't say Minnesota. That's
Okay.
not realistic.
Let's move on then.
Thank you. It's not realistic. The Nines locked that up, unfortunately.
Yeah.
They're not giving up on him anytime soon for
All
some
right.
reason. So,
Didn't have to kill my dreams like that,
well, I would
but
love
okay.
him in Minnesota too, but they're gonna die on that hill. They already saw what Sam Darnold just did. They have to commit now, which they don't have to, but for some reason they think they have to. So I don't see it. I don't see it. But yeah, I think the Jets. Now, if he does go to Minnesota, I'm selling the house for that boy. But then it's too late by then. It's way
It's
too
too
late.
late. It's
Way
too
too
late.
late by then. So you
Yeah.
got to trade for him right now, and do one of these
As
every
of
night.
February 24th. Yeah.
So, on to the running backs.
Wait, you didn't give us your second quarterback, did you?
Did we? We're doing two QBs.
Yeah.
Who
You
did I
had a
say?
certain
Bryce.
someone.
Who did I have?
You had
Oh,
a certain someone.
oh,
Yeah, you did.
oh.
Come
Okay.
on. Come on. You know who you had. Go ahead.
We might lose some followers from this one.
We might.
We might
A-
lose.
And then even go ahead. I'll let you do it. I
Stay
ain't even
with
gonna
me.
spoil it.
Stay with me
I'm
here.
here. I ain't going nowhere.
There's a quarterback that a lot of people forget about, that even Amal forgot about, even existed, played the position.
I don't know if I forgot about him or I purposely omitted him from my mind.
A
But
lot
go
of us
ahead.
did because of the history. But if we go
Yeah,
a little
it ain't
bit
football.
further back from that history,
It ain't football history.
I remember, hold on, I remember a guy who was competing to be a league MVP. I remember a guy who was Patrick Mahomes' arch nemesis.
He
I
was.
remember a guy who was one of
He's
the best
apparently the arch
college.
nemesis of a lot of other people too.
He was a top QB coming out of college, a championship caliber quarterback, a man worth the first fully guaranteed contract in the NFL. And that man is Deshaun
From the right
Watson.
team, I guess.
Now, stay with me here. I know I might lose you. Deshaun Watson can still play football. I've seen it before. I've seen it. And that was post all of this. He had a 2-week span before getting injured again where he looked semi decent. Not week 1, but week 2 and week 3, he was good. Now, only reason I mention this is because A, he's still in Cleveland, fully guaranteed contract. And they personally feel like they haven't gotten their money worth. Let's just put that out there. But the biggest fact of them all is that for some odd reason, the Browns hate Shador Sanders.
That's
They
a
hate
fact.
him. They hate him. And for some odd reason, they still haven't committed to Shador being the starter next year. For some odd reason, there's a QB competition between Deshaun Watson and Shador for the starting job this year. Now, if I was a betting man, I think Deshaun Watson gets that job, at least for the first month of football. Do you think he's going to be bad with Jerry Jeudy, who's finally showed up? Somewhat. Are you going to be surprised when he does good with the rising star Harold Fanning Jr., who is a certified baller? Are you going to be surprised that when Judkins is healthy and they have a actual running back committee with him and Sampson, two young bucks with a healthier O line than last year. And it ain't perfect, but it's slightly better. I'm just saying, if you look at it from afar, and your only competition is Shador Sanders, who they don't want to succeed, it's a free job. And you know how I know that? Because Dylan Gabriel was the starter last year. That's how I know that. There's no way in hell he should have been playing football. Deshaun Watson gets a shot. Trade for him now. That's all I'm saying.
I don't know what the price point is.
It's either free or he's locked up. Like, you're either committed to the bit or you're just like, you're fed up with everything.
And
But
you want to get rid of him? Yeah, I don't
yeah,
know,
so
man. Like, that's a tough one to sell me on, brother. I don't.
I would trade a late second round pick in this year's
Okay.
draft during the
Okay.
draft. You can leverage that during the draft. Right now,
Yeah.
it's like I don't know what's on the board. Wait till you see the board. If you're nice, if you're me,
Yes.
you can pull it
Somebody might
off.
want Chris Brazzell and be willing to give up Deshaun Watson for him. So
It just
anyway,
feels like Deshaun Watson's just a dead weight at this point. He's really
yeah,
not. But if you've had him for this long,
he might be.
you've had
He
him for
might be
this
dead weight.
long. Yes.
He might be dead weight. Let's not
Might
act
be.
like he might not be dead weight. He might be dead weight, but
He's not. He's not.
I guess we'll
Why
find
am I
out.
defending
I
this
don't know.
man?
You are really on the Deshaun Watson train, man.
Keep it in a box. Keep it within football. Outside of football, horrible person. We get
Terrible
it.
human. Terrible
We get
human.
it. But I'm
Yeah.
not here to judge. I'm here to evaluate. He's good at football. So
We'll see if he could get back there. Let's happen to these running backs, man. You were ready a little bit ago, and then I had to let you get that off your chest
okay.
because
All right.
I ain't gonna
Now
let you get out the video without bringing up one of your favorite buy lows
I
all of a
forgot.
sudden.
I forgot, man.
But I have one, and he's a little bit of a deep sleeper. You know, I always come with the sleepers. If you checked out our videos last year, give you Romeo Dobbs, give you Travis Etienne. I'm back with another Jags running back.
Oh Lord. Go off.
Travis Etienne did what he was supposed to do last year.
Yeah.
Did what he was supposed to do as a 9th round pick in redraft. Again, still insane. That's what you saw my boy as.
Lord.
Disrespected him. He's right above my head right here. Disrespected him, right? Now, he might be too expensive for us to bring back, depending on what he's looking for. We're not going to franchise tag him. It's looking like we're going to let him walk. If he walks, we currently have a backfield of Bashaw Tootin, LaQuint Allen Jr. as the main guys. I'm sure there's a third string running back in there. Not thinking about him right now because right now he's the 4th. If you watch the games, LaQuint Allen was involved heavily, even with Bashaw Tootin healthy, in between the 20s, right? Once you got in the red zone, Tootin seemed to be the guy a lot of times, but they like to use LaQuint Allen on kickoff and in between the 20s. If we lose Travis Etienne, I could see him adopting that role a little bit more, a little bit bigger body. What he did at Syracuse is similar to the things that we asked Travis Etienne to do. Great runner, sees the field very well, falls forward on a lot of his carries, decent pass catcher as well. Great feel for the game. Love LaQuint Allen. Didn't necessarily want him in Jacksonville. I wanted Oronde Gadsden in Jacksonville. Wasn't meant to be, right? But solid running back nonetheless. And at the price point you could go target him for now, you could sell it to the owner of LaQuint Allen. It's like, look, you're holding on to this 3rd string running back. You know the Jags are going to bring back Travis Etienne. He's Trevor's boy. They went to Clemson together. He had such a successful year. The worry was about him being healthy, not performance. Now he shows he could be healthy for a full slate of games, and they just went to the playoffs. One bad drive away from being potentially in the AFC Championship game, right? Like, why would you hold on to the 3rd string running back? Not worth it. Sell him to me. Sell him to me
That's the guy.
for my 3rd string running back, you know? Or you could move somebody with a ton of hype behind their name and go get LaQuint Allen plus, or just sprinkle him in the back end of a deal. That's usually the best way to do it. Oh, you want AJ Brown? Look, okay, I'll give you AJ Brown, but I'm gonna need like I don't know, a Brian Thomas Jr. and a LaQuint Allen Jr. Or I'm gonna need like a Jettas and a LaQuint Allen Jr. if you want CD. Get what I'm saying? Like a little trade seasoning. I'm just throwing out things right now. I'm not really cooking up draft picks, but I'm just saying, like, if you want to acquire guys and it's like a 1-for-1, just throw LaQuint Allen Jr. at the back half of it. There's a little trade seasoning. And then when we move off of Travis Etienne, you potentially have a starting level running back for almost the free ski. That is one of my favorite buys because it's really hard to go buy LaQuint Allen Jr. at a reasonable price right now because he's a third string running back. If people love him, they're going to charge you something stupid, right? You might be able to do like a Efton Chisholm for LaQuint Allen Jr. or like exactly somebody they love in New England, right? They calling him like Edelman 2.0 or whatever. Had a touchdown in like week 17 or week 18. They love Efton Chisholm, right? Or I don't know, like a Trey Tucker or the Trey that plays up in L.A. for the Chargers. Is it Trey? I think it is Trey. The rookie out of Ole Miss.
Trey Tucker?
Is that Trey Tucker?
I
I thought Trey
believe
Tucker was the
I know
wide
he's
receiver for the Vegas.
Yeah, you're right. Might be.
But yeah, go get my boy LaQuint Allen as a little trade season, as I said before, and be happy, be merry. What says you about my boy LaQuint Allen Jr.? I know you weren't too high on him initially, but let me hear it. Have I sold you?
You sold me on the logic, but I have to be honest, I ain't watched Jags ball at all. So I do have to trust your insight. You know ball, so I trust you. But the logic makes sense. They move off of ETN, next man up, they run a committee, they don't commit to any one back. Tootin's good, but Tootin's not a 3-down back. So it makes sense.
Exactly.
Logistically, makes sense. Now, emotionally, I don't agree with it, but you know, I'm gonna be honest. And I think you knew that. You just wanted me to say
Yeah.
that on tape. So when you're right, you can clip me up later, and that's fine. You can get your clip. But
You know, I love my clips.
I'm not gonna.
But yeah.
I was gonna say the wrong name on purpose. But LaQuint Allen, I hope you work out, bro. If you're watching this, we're rooting for you.
You know,
If you
I'm
can post.
I'm a UCF guy. I've made that very clear. RJ Harvey was one of my favorite running backs coming out in the draft.
Really?
We'll talk about him later in the NFL process and how I feel about him going into his second year. But outside of UCF as a college, the next team I've kind of adopted, especially in college football, is Syracuse, man. I love Syracuse.
Lord.
Shouts out the orange, right?
This guy.
So LaQuint Allen, Oronde Gadsden, all them boys coming out, I was a fan, man. So like, it's good to see them kind of ball in the league a little bit, and I think LaQuint Allen has some room to run if we let Travis Etienne leave. If Etienne is back, I would still buy LaQuint Allen and stash him, because somebody could stay healthy for a year and go back to being the same kind of injured, dinged up player that they've been their entire career prior to that, and we might still need to see LaQuint Allen play some meaningful snaps. It's just the price point you'd have to pay for him if he leaves skyrockets, which is not really a high skyrocket. It's like 0 to like 5, right?
That's valid.
But it skyrockets compared to like if you buy him now. So go get him while he's cheap. Cheap.
I agree. So I'm gonna step into my buy, which by the grace of God, I was able to get inadvertently. If you've been on this channel for the last year and a half, you know I was maybe too big on a rookie running back last year, and it made sense in the moment. The tape still looks good to me, but if I have to be honest, he was buns this year. I think we can agree, Amal, he was pretty bad. That person is Caleb Johnson.
Yeah.
Now I'm still in on Caleb. Might take an extra year or two. Not saying to go get him. That'll be our video next year when he has another bad year. But it's the guy that they're re-signing because of his inadequacy, and that's Kenneth Gainwell. I'm gonna be honest. I had no reason to pick up Kenneth Gainwell until I did. And for those that did, he kind of was a league winner for a few people. He won me a couple weeks, surprisingly, where I'm just like, why Kenneth Gainwell? I don't know why, but Pittsburgh is invested, especially if they re-sign him to a deal this offseason. Talking about it right now. They're gonna run a committee. He looked better than Warren at times, to be completely honest. Like, it's like a 1A, 1B situation, which is crazy to say, but he's earned that right, and as of right now, I think people still see him as that 1B option, even a 2 is to Warren. But my honest opinion, depending on who they replace at quarterback, I think he takes the job. I think he's better in the pass game. I think he fits the new coach's mold of what he likes in running backs typically. It's Gainwell season. Get him while you can. So,
So I was a heavy Warren supporter and thought that Warren was going to be like one of those buy low guys, especially in drafts, to hunker down a position because I thought he was going to get like 80% of the touches. Um, just based on how Tomlin likes to coach, right? And then it happened when they went overseas, especially. Warren had a mysterious pre-game illness, and with
yeah,
like 30 minutes before game time, Gainwell got it like anointed the starter, and that boy snapped in London, and he
brother,
snapped crazy.
telling me.
He snapped crazy, right? And then I watched a few games because I got off a few Sundays. Shout out to my boss, right? Where I was able to watch some NFL football. And he looked good in the pass game, great in the pass game. And he was explosive. And he made people miss. And he could run between the tackles. And this is like the Gainwell that I think a lot of teams were expecting when he came out of Memphis. Right before your eyes, right? Why wouldn't you re-sign him? I think he's a great player. I saw enough this year to think that like it's good when he's split because then you get him like fresh for more of the game, right? I don't want to see him get like a heavy workload, but if he's still getting like 45% of the touches, 40% of the snaps or something like that, he makes the most out of those, and he's in on like every pass catching snap almost. So
Yeah.
I need to see who's coming back at quarterback a little bit, what the plan is there, because that could really tank the pass catching ability that he provides. Because if they're not going to throw it to the running back, that takes away like a heavy dosage of his fantasy points. But the man's talented, and I think Kenneth Gainwell still doesn't have the name to where somebody's going to charge you an arm and a leg to get him on the roster. He's an affordable buy for especially a contending team, right? If you have the pieces already and Kenneth Gainwell's slotting into that RB3 or flex 2 role, heck yeah, give me Kenneth Gainwell, right? So like,
All day.
I'm with it. I'm with that buy. I like that
Hey,
buy a
my
lot.
guy. Hey, makes sense,
Yeah,
man. Just don't think
it
too hard.
does. It does. It does make sense. This guy is a fun one because like whether he stays there or doesn't stay there, the sky's kind of the limit depending on landing spot. And it's Tony Pollard. First 12 weeks of the season, he gave you a headache. He got all the touches. The offense wasn't moving. Once Cam found his flow, no surprise, Tony found his flow. Huge games, right? I think he had multiple 100-yard rushing games in a row against some pretty competent competition who was playing for stuff down the stretch. He took grasp of that RB1 role. We thought Tyjae Spears would come and kind of siphon some touches. He did, but not to the extent that was predicted. And I'm still a Tyjae Spears guy. And if we believe he's going to get moved, the team's looking to find their running back or that RB 1A or 1B are great situations. If he ends up in Denver, love RJ Harvey. They're looking for a guy who could hit the space,
You're
hit the gaps
obsessed
and
with
go.
Harvey.
I like him. That's my boy. UCF till I die. Charge on. But Tony Pollard's a different type of back. He hits the holes and he goes. He's not back there dancing, right? And the pass catching would still go to Harvey, but Tony Pollard would provide a lot of what J.K. Dobbins provided early in the season, right?
Oh, what
And
a
that was
name.
fantasy points. You look at the Chargers, they wanted to go Najee or Marion Hampton. They could possibly go Tony Pollard or Marion Hampton. That's a good situation, right? Or if you go to the Chiefs, who probably will be without Mahomes for a couple weeks, right? Maybe half the year. You put Tony Pollard as the RB1 for the Chiefs. I trust Andy Reid to scheme something up good for him. I think there's some good landing spots out there for the kid. And then if he comes back to the Titans offense, I think the Titans offense is going up and he's going to be involved. So I think the price point is low enough. People are not going to charge you an arm and a leg for Tony Pollard. This is a little bit of a lottery ticket because you don't exactly know what's going to happen. As of February 24th, he's on the Titans.
Yuck.
A month from now, he could be on a different roster. So we don't know. But I think the talent is still there. I think the burst is still there. I think the ability to get upfield is still there. The pass catching is still there. Shoot. And I think there's a few situations where if he lands there, it could be something special. Shoot, Seattle's not bringing back K9 from what it sounds like. You put him in the Seattle system. Unfortunately, he'll play the K9 role where he doesn't get much red zone touches, but he'll get usage over there. And I don't think that's a bad situation, right? So it's again, it's not a done deal. It's not like a lock, but I don't think the price point is crazy for Tony Pollard to where you shouldn't entertain potentially acquiring him and putting him on the roster just to see what shakes out if you get him right now. What says you?
I like Tony Pollard. Did a lot better than I expected last year. And like you said, it depends on landing spot. If he does stay, is he gonna stay? Have they spoke on that yet, or is still negotiating?
No big like news on negotiations or long term contract.
Okay. Yeah, I feel like even if he stays, good, but if he leaves, sky's the limit, depending on landing spot. Of course, you can win the Mahomes sweepstakes, end up in KC. But like you said, I think talent-wise, he can't really go. I can't see a team where he goes on and he's worse from where he's at right now. Like, can only
Jets,
go up. Yeah, but I don't. Are they even in the RB market right now?
if they keep Brees, no.
Okay. So there's a possibility. I think it's worth it. Like you said, talent-wise, very slept on. Fantasy-wise, very slept on. Very consistent last year. It wasn't pretty, but
Had a really rough beginning of the year, but
yeah, but towards
back
the
end he
back
did some
end,
work. Yeah,
yeah, I traded for him in one of my leagues, ended up winning just because of consistency. Like it was a deal where BTJ was involved, so by the grace of God, I got off that. But I got what I needed, and it's like not a headache every Sunday. So I like it, honestly. But that does lead me into my pick though, because like as much as I do like Tony Pollard, I do like Tajay Spears a little bit better. And I think we can both agree we've always liked Tajay Spears a little bit better. My only worry
check the channel.
was post injury, and post injury looked pretty good. I don't know. I mean, I liked what I saw. Still saw bursts, still saw elusiveness, still saw a little twitch here and there. Like, and I think he's only getting better. He's young with Cam Ward, very versatile, and that's all you need to know. I mean, what do you have to say on that? I ain't got too much to say about Tajay. He speaks for himself.
I think the price point's low right now because it's the off season.
It's free.
I think Tony Pollard still being there is a window where you're trying to buy him. These are the windows. If Tony Pollard gets moved, he's gonna skyrocket. Wait out the draft because if they add another piece, then you could kind of play off of that and be like, that piece could be vying for touches, right? But if you're gonna buy low, buy now. If you're a believer and Tony Pollard gets moved, get ready to pay that price, but you can still buy there. If you go to the draft and they draft somebody else, it's back down a little bit because people like the new shiny toy. They're gonna watch film, watch highlights. Ooh, that running back looks amazing, and think that he's gonna be the starter. Tajay Spears has been in that system for months before that rookie. He's had that playbook in his hand. They're probably gonna go with him early. So I think it's a good buy. I would just suggest trying to get him right now. Go get him right now and talk about him as the 1B when you go in those conversations.
That's why I like to tell people, like, is it risky? Yes. But that's the best part about the risks, because when it pays off, it feels that much better. And that's why you bet on talent and let God handle the rest. Because I guarantee you, as soon as you go get Tajay, the next day, Tony Pollard's gone. And it's like, wow, who would have thought besides kicking posts, Just happens. Don't be scared to take the risk. Just trust your heart, trust your
Do
gut,
what you got to do.
and do what you gotta do.
Do what you got to do. Go get your boys.
Get your boy. Firm believer in that. Y'all been with us for a while now. Go get your boy any means necessary. You'll never hate yourself
If
for
you
it.
believe, yeah, go get your boy every time.
Every time. That happened with my one boy this year in another league. I traded for Gibbs. That was my boy. But in order to get him, I gave him a package that included JSN, who was his
Oof.
boy.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, big oof, big oof.
Yeah, it's
At the
tough
time,
though.
made sense, but from his
Yeah.
perspective, he got his guy, and look what his guy became. So,
Nah, for real. I had moments like that. I had a bad version of that. I got my boy at the back half of the year.
who? ETN?
BTJ.
Yeah, for what though?
I did BTJ and I got I think it was Jordan Mason at the time because he became the starter. Yeah. Yeah.
Did Bobby give you that?
Yeah.
Bobby was trying to sell me Jordan Mason for the longest, and I'm like,
Uh-huh.
Bobby,
But I had Aaron Jones
no,
too, so I'm like, I'm gonna have one of them. You know what I mean? Like somebody's gonna get me points. It's in a
keep
league where I was
him.
like, I needed it. You know what I mean? Like
Nah,
my
keep
team was
both
bleeding,
of them.
everybody was hurt. It was a dynasty team, and I believe BTJ is gonna get back to some level of BTJ.
Yeah, you're better than me. Keep
He took
both
JSN
them
from me.
boys. Keep
He
'em.
took JSN from me.
But yeah, I mean, you couldn't see it coming. At the end of the day, like I said,
I
get your
could have seen
guy.
the JSN coming.
Not
I
not
did.
not like this. Not like
No, it was
not like
mid-season.
this.
It was mid-season.
That's
It was
crazy.
mid-season. I saw it.
That's crazy.
I just believe that next year BTJ will be back to something. I knew I wasn't winning this year, even with JSN. My team was done.
Yeah.
Um, it hurts though.
Yeah. Now, good. Another question for you, just to wrap things up.
Yeah,
Forgotten Soul, but Emeka Ibuka. How do you feel about him?
that's a good closeout question. Mike Evans is older, man. I think what's tough is there's so many weapons there again. It seems like Mike Evans is gonna be there. It seems like Chris Godwin's coming back to himself a little bit. Um, he's there. He wasn't getting on the field predominantly in like a lot of those situations, or if he was, he wasn't heavily targeted. I think the talent's still there. He's shown me enough at the beginning half of the year. I do think now you could get him for prices lower than he was going at the beginning of the year. That man turned into like Jetta's type prices, CD Lamb type prices at the beginning of the year. Because people are like, yeah, he broke
More.
out like that. Yeah.
More. I
People were
was
saying he's one of the ones. And it's like,
what? Bro,
he might be one of the ones, but this is a 6-game sample size. Like, the
bruh,
recency bias is kind of crazy, right?
it was
But now
insane.
it was insane. But now
Insane.
you could go back to a little bit more realistic of a price. And if I could pay 2 picks in this first round draft, 2 first round picks in this rookie draft, if they're at the back half for Emeka Egbuka, I'm doing it. I'm probably doing it. I'm giving away 2 of those picks because I like the prospects, but not enough to be like, I've seen enough out of Emeka to move both those picks for him.
I
In terms of
agree.
established wide receivers,
I would too, just because it's gonna pay off eventually. Even if he has the same year this year like he did towards the back end of last year, in 2 years, it's written in the stones. It's his. It's his.
I mean, unless one of these guys
It's
really
his.
snap at the back half, like I like a Skylar Bell. I'm not in love with Chris Brazzell. I like Casey Concepcion out of Texas A&M. I like these guys. I don't think they're gonna turn into like the rookie of the year type candidate in their first year to where I could spin the block next year when their price goes down and get him as a sophomore and then have Emeka Egbuka and one of those guys once people get tired of what they drafted last year because they didn't really perform, right? Like, you have to believe that these guys are going to snap their first year to really be sold on keeping that pick and drafting them and keeping them all year, right? It has to be one of those situations where you're just a big believer. And Mecca went second round until the hype went crazy. Then he started going first round in the rookie drafts. So, like, that could very much happen with this class. And if you want to sell hype for hype, you might be able to do a Mecca 1-for-1 for one of these guys who gets hyped up through the combine, right? So, take it easy. If you're going to buy a Emeka Egbuka, I'd say wait till the combine. Let one of them boys run like a 4.15
Yeah.
or something ridiculous. and then boom, be like, look, take this burner. I'm going to take Emeka, who didn't do anything the second half of the year. This man's going to be the next thing. He's the second coming to Christ. And then boom, that's how you do it.
Yeah,
Sell him the new shiny toy every time.
just make a phone call. See what's up. See how they're
Yeah.
doing. See how they're
Some
feeling,
people
you
love
know?
the new shiny toy. Shouts out Bobby Woods.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what you have.
I love a good Bobby Woods, man.
Doesn't matter what you have in the tank. Like, you always want the next thing. Even if you have the best thing, give me the next thing. You know what I mean? So
Yeah. Oh my gosh, that sums up Bobby so well.
it don't matter. It don't matter. I might have the best thing. I want the next thing. So that's the mantra. Sell them the next thing every time.
Wow. I feel good, man. I feel good.
This has been the Dynasty buys. We're not doing lows. We're not doing highs. Just guys you believe in, man. And not the obvious ones. I could come on here and be like, buy George Pickens, buy CD Lamb. That makes sense, right? But we're giving you the guys that you kind of have to do a little bit of looking for. So Dynasty buys, QBs and RBs is over. Come back, hopefully fairly soon, for Dynasty buys, tight ends and wide receivers. And then we're going to hop into Dynasty sells for all those positions as well. Start doing some player profile coverage.
Yeah.
First player profile video should be Fernando Mendoza.
Yeah.
Excited to go over that one.
Yeah.
We're back, man. Dynasty fantasy football, Dynasty content is back. It's the off season. We got to fill all these months of no football with football. So I hope you guys are ready for all these videos and all this content. Please like, subscribe, and share. We'll see y'all on the next video. Peace.
What's that?